Hi, y'all. Hey, my Periscopers. How you guys doing tonight? Hi, thanks for joining. Hi, Tracy. I need to give you a call. I have not talked to you in a while. Hi, hon. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining. Hi, Erica. Well, we are continuing the talk that we had earlier today, so I hope that you guys were able to catch the replay. And if not, this is what we were talking about. We were talking about money. What do we do with it? Is there ever enough? Are you guys frustrated that you're not making enough money, that you don't have enough to buy what you need, to get everything you need? Oh, good. It's already 9. Hey, Britt, I hope you heard the replay from noon today. And if you didn't, then you guys catch that because it was great. Hi, Sandy. It was great. And, you know, it is amazing because we talk about this a lot in my office because I'm a counselor and an ordained Christian minister, do a lot of marriage counseling and family counseling. And very often, a big situation that people are constantly frustrated about is money. They don't have enough money. They don't know what to do about the fact that they're so stressed out over money. And especially this time of year, you know, we get to the holidays and it seems like everything is so expensive. So we're spending on groceries, on gifts, on decorations, and, you know, trying to get the bills paid and just figure out a way to get from one day to the next. And it can be a point of contention. When you think about it, many people place their own personal value based on how much money they make. So I don't know if you're one of those people or not, or if you're somebody that really is stressed out right now thinking about giving. Well, giving and being generous is an awesome thing to be. And it's an awesome thing to give, especially during times like Christmas, to give Christmas presents and to give, to give an offering that is taken for a certain purpose. Or you hear a sad commercial on TV about children or animals or, you know, things like that. And they're asking you to donate money. So that is great to be somebody who donates and who's a one-time giver. But living a life of generosity has nothing to do with money. It's an attitude, really an attitude of sharing, about sharing what you have. Because oftentimes people can get so wrapped up in their money and in their possessions that Jesus had a lot to say about that. And you can see that they're so wrapped up in what they have and what they still don't have, what they want to get, what they need, what they want to keep. They're worried about their future, worried about their retirement, worried about the kids' college fund. And there's so much worry that goes into the topic of finances. And Jesus wanted to take the worry out of it. And he just said, look, y'all, if you just would listen to this parable, I've got some good tips for you. So here's the parable, and I'm going to reread it for those of you. I'll paraphrase a little bit that didn't hear earlier. So out of Luke 12, this is the parable of the rich fool, the rich fool. Okay, y'all, so you don't want to be the rich fool. You might want to be rich, okay, because there's nothing wrong with money, but you certainly don't want to be a fool. And you know, if you're a fool now, even being broke or even be on a really tight limited income, if you're a fool now, you'll be a fool later too when you're rich, because a fool is a fool is a fool. And no matter what, no matter how much money, the same issues that you're dealing with right now today are going to be the same issues that you deal with even if you had a lot of money. So, you know, money is a relative thing, and it seems like there can never be enough if your attitude's not right. But if your attitude is right, any amount is enough. In fact, no money is fine because you will figure out a way to get by, and you know that you can trust God beyond your circumstances of being frustrated with your finances. So here's the lesson that we learned from this rich fool. And here's the story. A parable is a story that Jesus was telling his disciples just to make a point. And he starts off by saying, beware, guard against every kind of greed, okay? Life is not measured by how much you own. You know, if we have that attitude of greed, then we're always comparing. And it's not just that I want more or that I just want my needs provided for. It's that I want more than I currently have. Or it's I want more than you have, or I want as much as you have. Oh, thanks for sharing, Susan. So, you know, this is the way greed works, is there's never enough. So it doesn't matter. In fact, it was interesting to hear a story earlier today that about a billionaire that Andy Stanley and his wife were talking to this billionaire, and this billionaire was worried about their retirement, was worried about not having enough money, was worried about what could happen, at any moment, the stock market could crash. At any moment, there could be, some sort of something happen that all the money could be gone. Really? I mean, you're a billionaire and you're still worried about money. And Andy just said, well, then there's no hope for us. There's no hope. We're just always going to worry about money. But then Jesus tells a little story. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. Okay, so this means that he was successful. So y'all, I don't know if you've ever been successful or if you want to be successful. Because when you think about it, everybody has this desire to be a success, right? Especially men. This is something that men really deal with. They want to have a lot of money. They want to make a lot of money. They want to be a success. Why? Probably for the same reason that this rich man in the Bible, in the parable, wanted to be rich. Excuse me. He said, what should I do? I have so much money. I have so much success. I don't even have room for all of my crops. So he said, I know, I'll build a bigger barn. That's like the man down the street from our house. What's he going to do with 8 of his cars? He doesn't even have room for 8 cars. So what did he do? He built a bigger house with a 8-car garage. Or I don't know, that garage down the street might even be a 10-car garage. He had to build a bigger garage to store all of his car collection. And so kind of like this man in the Bible, he had to build bigger barns to store his crops. Then he said, I know what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns, build bigger ones. Then I'll have enough room to store everything he needed for that day and everything he would need for the future. And then he said, I'll sit back and say to myself, I'm set. I'm set for the rest of my life. I can retire. So, hey, got plenty of storage, got a big house, got big barns, got all these cars. Now I've got so much money, I can just sit back, eat, drink, and be merry. Just enjoy it. Just retire. Don't have to work anymore. I can just enjoy the fruits of my labor. And then God says to him, you fool, you'll die this very night. Then, what is your stuff good for? What is the point? What is the point of all of this stuff? Who's going to get everything you've worked for? A person is a fool to store up earthly wealth. Okay? Because why? Because it's all about a relationship with God. When we have a relationship with God, that is the wealth that we need. And the beautiful thing is, in the next verse, he talks to us about how we don't have to worry about tomorrow. He's got that. You know what he wants us to do? He wants us to share what we have today. So y'all, what do you have today? What can you share? Because wouldn't it be sad to die and not share what you have, to not give anything away? I love what my grandma said. My grandma said, I want to give things away while I'm still living. What does everybody want? You want my dishes? Here, you take my dishes. She's 92 years old. She's like, it's not good for, I want to be able to give it away. I don't need it anymore. I'm 92. I'm not having big dinner parties. I'll just keep a small set for myself. Here, you take the big set of dishes. Here, you take my fine jewelry. You can wear it. You can enjoy it. I want the pleasure and the privilege of giving it away, right, Grandma, if you're watching on the replay? So, I think that is so neat because how foolish of us to not share what we have. We can't take it with us, right? So everything that we have is for sharing. This is a great lesson that you're teaching your kids, and it's a great lesson that you can learn yourself. Sharing. My parents shared everything when I was growing up. I mean, if somebody needed to borrow something, the answer was always yes. We were raised with generosity, not just on holidays, but generosity all the time. Someone needed to borrow our car? Sure, here's the keys, borrow our car. No conditions. Somebody need to borrow our house while we were gone? Sure, you can stay in our house while we're gone. No conditions. What do you need? You need the coat off my back? Here you go. You can have it. You like my watch? Keep it. You like my purse? Here, take it. Just this constant attitude of sharing. If somebody wanted something, they could have it. There was many times that my parents sold all of our possessions and gave all the money to the church. Why? Because they wanted to share with people. They wanted to build the kingdom. They wanted to give God back what they had given him, what he had given them. And if there was a need at the church, my parents would on a regular basis sell everything. Oh, good reminder, Brittany. My dad does this. He fills up his suitcase, packs his suitcases to the brim. He goes over to Africa and he gives away all of his clothes. And he only comes home with the clothes that he's wearing. Because why? Because he can buy new clothes when he gets home. He can, even if he buys them cheap or inexpensively, he's not going to go without clothes. There's plenty in his closet to give away. So he gives away his nice clothes that he wears on his trip, and he never, ever, ever comes home with anything in his suitcase. And he doesn't take junk. He takes the nice stuff and he gives it away. Isn't that great, Brittany? I'm glad that you reminded me of that. That's a generous spirit. It's not just a one-time gift. It's a living a life of generosity. And that's what we want to do. That always comes out of a heart of gratitude. I love what the word continues to say. This is what I tell you, not to worry about everyday life, Jesus says. Whether you have enough food to eat or to drink or the clothes you have to wear, for life is more than food, and your body is more than clothing. Look at the ravens. They don't plant or harvest or store food in their barns. God feeds them, and you are far more valuable to him than any birds. Can all of your worries add a single moment to your life? And if worry can't accomplish a little thing like that, what is the use over worrying over bigger things? Y'all, too many people stress out about money. There's no reason to stress out about it. Use what you have. You've got plenty. You've got plenty. Give away. Sell. Just make do with what you have. Share what you have. But don't worry about getting more. You're going to be fine. I have some clients right now that are so stressed out over money. And y'all, they both have good jobs. She's got a great job. He's got a great job. But they're living beyond their means. And they said that their budget is about $600 a month short every single month. Okay, I'm there going, you guys, you gotta sell your house. You're gonna have to move. You need to sell your cars and pay cash for a cheaper car. You're leasing 2 expensive cars. You gotta get out of that. You know, I mean, month after month, no wonder you're stressed out. That's not a burden you're supposed to carry. But you know what? More money wouldn't solve their problem. If I gave them more money, what would they do? They would probably buy a bigger house, or they would spend more because they're in this bad habit of spending more than they have. So you guys, when we get in a good habit of being generous, regardless of how much money we have, then when you do have more money, you'll always continue to be generous. Okay, so worry. Here's some destructive things about worry. Worry paralyzes you. But if you just have a constructive concern about being short money every month, you won't be paralyzed, but it'll motivate you to put that house on the market, sell that house, you know, motivate you to sell your cars and to get something cheaper that you can pay cash for. Okay, destructive worry, it decreases your creativity. Hi, Grandma. But constructive worry, it increases your creativity. You figure out a way that you can make your money. You figure out a way that you can make it work, right? You figure it out. You get creative. Destructive worry prevents initiation, an initiative. You just get depressed and you feel hopeless, okay? But constructive concern, it promotes initiative. It gives you motivation to do something, okay? Destructive worry, it makes you anxious. But constructive concern, it helps you focus and stay calm, finding a solution, a logical solution so that you can get out of this worry over your finances cycle. Okay, destructive worry, it just fears the worst. I mean, you're afraid. We're not going to have money. I had a couple in my office, y'all. They were so worried about money. And I was like, well, are y'all facing bankruptcy? What kind of a solution can we look for? And they're like, no, we can't afford that, but we just can't. And they told me for 30 minutes everything they couldn't afford. The weird thing was, when I looked at things, hey, Kim, when I looked at things, they had $10,000 in their savings account. And they were worried that that wasn't going to be enough. Well, enough for when? Enough for their retirement? Well, no, but they were only in their 40s. I mean, and they had jobs. So it was just, you know what? It was irrational fear for the future. When God tells us today, don't worry. Don't worry about your future. Hey, Gerald. Hi, Kim. Y'all come in. Knock on that door. James will let you in. Okay, so I'm going to finish with this scripture tonight, and then I will, because I have company, real life company. So I'm going to close with the scripture tonight, Colossians 3:2. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. So y'all, set your mind on things above. There are things more important than money. Level 1 stress is when I'm concerned for a good reason, and so that motivates me to get a job. It motivates me to get up in the morning and to go to my job. It motivates me to sell things that I don't need. So that's level 1 stress, and that's good. It motivates you. Level 2 stress is when you are literally in this negative place of hopelessness. And level 3 stress is when you stay in that hopeless place week after week, month after month, year after year, and you cannot get yourself out of this pit of financial hopelessness. So y'all, think about it and be constructive in considering you don't need all this stuff. You don't need a ton of money. You actually need very little to live on. And I bet if you think about how much money you made 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you are probably living very happily on a lot less. So think about, you can be happy. It doesn't take money to be happy, but you do need to be generous and live a generous life, starting today with or without money. Okay, y'all? I'll be back tomorrow at noon and 9 talking about money and how to live a worry-free, stress-free life, even in December when there's so much going on. So God bless you guys. Stay positive, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.